What's up, Dolphins representatives? It's Dave Wade back on the set with another episode of the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide. Make sure and click the notification bell and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can hear it first. I want to start this video by saying Chris GRIER is the best GM in the NFL, hands down, without a doubt. I mean, over the last 3 years, under his leadership, overseeing the roster, he's put us pretty much in the best possible position to win a Super Bowl, in my opinion. With the arsenal and the schemes that we got on offense and defense, if we don't get in, if we don't get into the playoffs, at least it'll be because of injuries, undisciplined mistakes, or bad predictable coaching down the stretch. Those are the only three things I would attribute to us not getting into the playoffs, because the talent is there across the board. I don't care where you look, offense, defense. I think special teams can improve. We need to find us a kick returner and a punt returner because most of it is not getting it done. And Tyreek can do it, but we want to use all his talent on offense. But I think our scouting department is one of the best in the business, in my opinion. And we've seen proof of that since 2019 with the draft capital strategy, with how we've been attacking the waiver wire, finding hidden gems, and squeezing the juice. And Chris does it again. He traded for edge Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos. And these are three moves that he made that I think are going to be pivotal for the season. Bradley Chubb being added. When you look at the draft capital that we got from the San Francisco 49ers and these 3 first-round picks that we was able to get, we was able to flip that into Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb. I mean, so it's just genius work with the cap, with the draft. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. And I think with him being a bookend to either Emmanuel Ogbah or Jalen Phillips, he got an opportunity to be the team's first true edge stud at the position since Cam Wake retired. And we've had a history of edge rushers that have been elite. I mean, Jeff Cross was the best in the business when he played. Jason Taylor. I mean, the list goes on and on. Hopefully Chubb could be added to that list of legends. And we did this before the NFL trade deadline, shipping off running back Chase Edmonds, who wasn't really doing much for us. Sometimes, Chris, you be trying certain running backs that I just think, come on, man, you should know that. You knew Malcolm Brown wasn't going to be that good, dog. I mean, come on, man. He wasn't going to fit our scheme. Maybe he fit the Rams, but he wasn't going to fit our scheme. Chase is better inside zone. We wasn't using him in shotgun, which is what he's good at. So it's good that we got rid of him. But we shipped him off. We got a 2023 first. We shipped off our 2023 first round pick and 2024 fourth round pick. Then we backed the Brinks truck up to the parking lot spot at Hard Rock Stadium to give him a 5-year, $110 million contract extension with incentives that could push his contract value to just less than $112 million. He had 1 year remaining on his contract with the Broncos. And I mean, he's infamous as a potent pass rush threat. I think he's on the top 50 players from last year, or top 100 players, which is why Denver, I'm surprised they got rid of him. Yeah, we gave up a lot to get him, but he's definitely worth every penny, in my opinion. He's 6'4", 276 pounds, 34-inch arms, and he comes from a family of athletes and football players, so it runs in his blood. He could play in either formation, 3-4 or 4-3 technique, legitimately. And I would say, and don't be scared by this, because I think the difference between him and maybe like Charles Harris, who we had got out of Missouri, who we drafted, is that Chubb is about 20 to 30 pounds heavier than Harris in weight. He's about the same size as Jalen Phillips. So, he can be legitimately used in a 3-4 or 4-3 formation. And when you turn on the tape and watch his NC State footage, that man terrorized all ACC conference quarterbacks, and he gave Florida State quarterbacks nightmares, and he gave play callers nightmares in the ACC. His dad was a football player, I believe. His brother is a linebacker. Was a linebacker at Wake Forest, and I think he's related to Nick Chubb as well for the Browns, which we might be able to get Nick Chubb from the Browns if they keep losing, and maybe he wants out. Maybe he can be a future running back for us. I don't mind having the Chubb brothers on this team. Let's make it happen. But he was a first-team All-American, first-team All-ACC in his senior season, where he won 2017 Hendricks Best Defensive End and Bronco Nagurski's Best Defender Awards. He also finished second in the FBS with 26 tackles for loss and lit up quarterbacks 10 times, breaking up 2 passes in addition to forcing 3 fumbles. He had a second-team All-ACC and team defensive MVP junior season with 22 tackles for loss, ranked in the top 4 nationally, 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumble. And Chubb used his NFL size and violent hands. He got big hands as well, and just relentless pressure to rack up those tackles for loss, playing on either side of the line, so left or right. That means we could be multiple with him, sometimes switching him to the side that maybe Phillips is on. And I think we need to also use Van Ginkel on more pressures and blitzes as well. Van Ginkel was doing good for us last year getting to the quarterback. Why are we not using him more in pressures? I think it may free him up and free other players up as well. And he the only former number 1 overall pick, which was Mario Williams, he's the only one that collected more tackles for loss in the season than Chubb, but Chubb played pretty good. I mean, his production in the NFL has also been promising. He's recorded 26 sacks with a career high 12 in his rookie season during the last 4 and 5 years, which I know a lot of them is in his rookie season. The other years he didn't get as many sacks, but he did miss most of 2019 with an ACL injury and a lot of the 2021 season last year with bone spurs in his ankle. So that could be another reason maybe why they was willing to trade him. And Chubb has played in only 49 games for his career. So 26 sacks, it may not look like a lot, but he's been productive when he's been on the field. Emmanuel Ogbah, he's recorded 27.5 sacks in the last 4 and 5 years, despite playing 64 games during that time span, which is more than Chubb, but I think Chubb could be a generational talent, and Boyer's attack right in the same bracket as Parsons from Dallas, in my opinion. As fans, I think sometimes we tend to pay too much attention to just the sacks. Don't just look at the sacks. I mean, pay attention to the pressures, pay attention to the assists that he provides for Wilkins and Sala and the other interior D linemen that we rotate in there. Pay attention to the tackles for loss. Chubb got a lot of those on tape. Sacks are important, but it's not the only way to judge rushers and defensive linemen. Sacks sometimes can be created by scheme, or it can be aided by poor protection or poor pocket management from the quarterback. So sometimes numbers lie in that regard. Chubb ranks 3rd in the entire NFL in pass rush win rate, according to ESPN. He's beating the player across from him. He's beating this man 27% of his pass rush attempts, which is good. And that puts him in the same stratosphere as players like Myles Garrett and, like I said, Micah Parsons. And if you look at the strategy on how we've been building this defense, look at the players we've added and look who they're going to be for. I think Melvin Ingram was for the Bills. When we played the Bills this year, Melvin Ingram was a factor in that game. He was a factor when he was on the Chiefs and they had to go against the Bills. He somehow knows how to get after Josh Allen. So we got to use him when we play the Bills. I think Bradley Chubb has experience sacking Patrick Mahomes. He know how to get after Patrick Mahomes. That's what we need him for. So it's good strategy by Chris Grier, again, who don't get enough credit for loading up this roster. Right now, we got the 6th highest blitz rate in the league, and 9 of our 15 combined sacks have come when we've sent 5 or more rushers to the quarterback, according to Sports Info Solutions. And like I said in the recap, we needed someone else who can win one-on-one and beat their man in one-on-one matchups. I think we should still blitz more than most teams, and I think Chubb will fit perfect into that approach as well. And, because he has experience playing outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme and defensive end. So that means he's capable, like I said, of moving around the line and also standing up in different gaps whenever we need him. And we should stand up Van Ginkel as well. And again, he's going to improve the run blitzes as well. It's not just pass blitzes. Run blitzes also. Our scheme still puts an emphasis on our defensive linemen and outside linebackers being capable run defenders. And Chubb got a 76.6 PFF grade against the run, putting him on track to finish with a grade higher than 70 for the first time. He's been having, a good season so far. He ranks 12th in the NFL in run stops. The second move we made was trading with the San Francisco 49ers for running back Jeff Wilson. He's 6 foot, 213 pounds, about the same weight as Sony Michel, who we had, and also the same weight and running style around the same weight and running style as former running back from the 49ers, Tevin Coleman, who also played with the Falcons. I think he got experience running plays for Mike McDaniel. But he runs downhill with power, which complements Mostert. And it's good to see Raheem perfectly fitting into that shifty running back role. Hopefully Jeff can fill that power role, and I got no doubt that he can complement Raheem just like he did in Frisco. And I think San Francisco's scouting department as well, if you look at the last running backs they got, Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell, they've done a fantastic job finding West Coast running backs, both in the draft and on the wire. Jeff is a great example of that. He went undrafted out of North Texas, but he's connected with Mike and he's learned his strengths and his role. And if you look at his scouting report out of high school and college, he rushed for more than 5,000 yards and 60 touchdowns over his last 2 high school seasons, earning all-state recognition each year. Still, he was rated a 2-star prospect. I don't know why. I guess it was other running backs that was better, and he wound up in Denton. As a freshman, Wilson played in a reserve role. He had 50 rushes, 224 yards and a touchdown, 5 receptions and 41 yards and 1 touchdown for the Mean Green. And he first led the Mean Green in rushing in 2015 with 155 attempts, 830 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 recs, and 71 yards. So maybe I could see him getting maybe half of those 70 attempts instead. And I think that'd be a good season. He can get 600 yards for the rest of the year. That'd be a good season. 600 to 700 yards. But he also had 12 kick returns in college for 279 yards. Maybe we could use him in kick return this year. Despite missing 2 games due to injury, he started 7 to 10 games he played. He also missed 2 games with an injury in 2016, but managed to lead the team in rushing again with 169 carries, 936 yards, and he scored 14 times on the ground for the Mean Green of North Texas. He was also a factor in the passing game as well. 29 recs covering 247 yards and a touchdown. You look at his NFL production with the Niners. He averaged 4.4 yards per attempt in 5 seasons, running that zone scheme, finding the gaps, riding the wave. He's good at that. But after the 49ers traded for Christian McCaffrey and saw him make plays as soon as he got in, that the writing was pretty much on the wall for Jeff right there. And his snaps, he knew his snaps was going to be limited. So I'm pretty sure he was on board with coming to a place where he'd be able to fill that power role, and he can get all the power snaps since we added him. And I think, you know what this does too? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I think this raises Myles Gaskin's stock. This raises Myles' stock because I think we could use Myles as that third head in a 3-headed rushing attack where he can fill that versatile running back role. Meaning we can use him in the passing game and hopefully he can give us maybe 300 to 350 yards in both if we use him that way. And we can maybe try Salvin Ahmed on special teams as well. Maybe try him first before going to Jeff. Try him and maybe use Ahmed as a change of pace back on trick plays as well. I think Gaskin can now be used a lot more now that we got rid of Chase Edmonds, because I think he can fill that role and Jeff can fill the power role. Chris also addressed the O-line by signing Lamont Gilliard to the practice squad. Gilliard was a 6th-round draft pick by Arizona in the 2019 draft. He spent the 2019 season on the active roster, but he didn't play a game. And then he played in 13 games with 2 starts for the Cardinals in 2020. Most recently, he spent most of the last year on Cincinnati's practice squad and was with the Bengals during training camp this season. He played collegiately at Georgia, where he was a first-team All-SEC selection in 2018. So that's saying something. Maybe he can blossom into a player that we can have in the lineman rotation up front. We'll see what happens. But y'all let me know what y'all think about these moves. Do these moves catapult us to a Super Bowl contending team? I definitely think so. I think Chris has done everything he needed to do to get us there. Like I said, those 3 things that I mentioned are the only things that could stop us, but we got to keep it going. We on the right track. Let's whoop the Bears' ass this Sunday, tomorrow, and we should be able to come out of these next 4 games with only these 3 losses, in my opinion. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all know what it is. Till next time, signing off, the Big Fish Network, baby.